Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to a wife who self-deletes after her husband discovers that all 4 kids aren't his. Man, I cannot think of a worse betrayal than that, honestly. I can't think of a worse betrayal. Obviously, infidelity is awful to discover that your partner has been, dating around or having an affair. But like the children that you've raised, that you love deeply, that is your purpose for a lot of people. To discover that they aren't yours, all 4 of them, that would be probably the most painful thing I could go through. God forbid. So, this story is going to be pretty, honestly, I'm at a loss for words.
My oldest daughter had to take a DNA test for school just to figure out ancestry. During the DNA test, she came to me very, very sad because apparently me and her were not related. I was like, huh? When she told me this, I had to keep a straight face because the immediate shock was just wild. Then I decided to go with her to get a paternity test done. When we got the paternity test done, it was also concluded that I was not her father. At this point, I was shocked. I've had 4 kids with my wife, and she was the oldest, and I needed to see how far this rabbit hole went. I told her to not let her mother know that we know this information, and then I went to my next oldest child. Not mine. I went to the one below that. Not mine. And then I decided to stop there because the youngest child is so young that this may directly affect them, and they don't really understand what's going on anyway. So I didn't even want to go.
Maybe this happened a while ago because I can't understand how he's so upbeat. This must have happened maybe a long time ago, or maybe I would be a shell of myself, honestly.
That rabbit hole, but when I got the information, I immediately was like, let me go talk to my wife about this. So, like always, she didn't take responsibility or any type of accountability, and she said, how are you going to believe your wife over these tests? I was like, are you serious? Are you like, for real? Like, is this really where you're gonna go with this? Then she starts crying profusely and saying it was only one time, I didn't mean to do it. And I was like, it was only one time. Hey, and then I showed her that each one of the children aren't mine, with the exception of the youngest, as so I think. That's when it dawned on me that it was one time, multiple times, and then when we looked, each one of the children had different baby fathers, and somehow that made it even worse, because it wasn't just one person you was cheating on me with. This is a habitual thing with multiple different people that you probably don't know about, and I'm taking care of their kids. They're my kids. I've raised each and every one of them from a super young age, and they stood by me through this whole situation. But to think that she's not who she said she was, because up until that situation, I thought we had a great marriage. I thought we had a great life. I thought everything was going good. I thought that we were building together and all.
Really, bro? Really? You had a great life? I'm sorry, if your wife, all 4 of your children that you've raised aren't yours biologically, so she's been having affairs consistently over the years, how great can the marriage have really been? Do you know what I mean? I just don't know how somebody who is enjoying their marriage, would still do that. Unless there's people who just have this kind of weird compulsion to cheat on their partners. I don't know.
Built together. She is a stay-at-home mom that works on things that she wants to do. She takes care of the kids. She cooks. She cleans. She does everything that's needed inside of the relationship with me. Yet she didn't tell me that she wanted to go outside of the marriage. She didn't tell me that she wanted to do anything. Anyway, after finding out the information and getting her side of the story, I let her know I would need a couple of space. So I had rented a hotel for a couple of days, and I stayed in it. I stayed away, and it was all right. It was good, but I really missed my kids, and I wanted to see them. So after a couple of days, I was back inside of the house, but I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't say anything to my wife. I didn't speak to her. She would try to talk to me and I would look away. I would take care of the kids. I would grab the kids, take them to the mall, do different things with them. And everything was just, I was just trying to figure things out. I was just trying to see how I could make our relationship work or see if I need to separate and just take the kids myself. Like, I didn't.
He tried to make the relationship work. He's a better man than me. Obviously, the kids are the victim here and they've done nothing wrong, but there is no way I could forgive her. Not a chance.
Know what to do if I had any legal rights to these individuals. Yeah, my name's on the birth certificate, but I'm not biologically theirs. I just wanted to figure things out, but I didn't even get that chance because 6 days ago she decided, other than taking any type of responsibility, to have a hangout session with the chandelier.
Oh.
And I'm so happy I have my kids because I just don't know what I would like. It's just baffling to me because the whole time, even with evidence, she just kept denying and denying and denying and denying. And I don't know if I did something wrong. I don't know if I was never supposed to know in the first place. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want to not have my kids not to have their
Man, this is a rough story, honestly. This is just... Jeez.
Fellas. You know, there was some... I know you guys are going to be like, well, Jared, why are you smiling? Things like that. I mean, this is crazy. This happens. I just did a video the other day. It's a lot of guys. Shout out to DNA, first of all. But there's a ton of guys finding out that their kid or kids are not theirs. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe, right? You're looking at this child and we're having a good life. And all along, your old lady, your baby mama, your wife is getting her cheeks clapped in different increments. And you brought 4 kids along in this lifetime? And this is what's going on? How heartbreaking and devastating is that? Especially
if you do that to your partner, you can't love them. You don't love them, in my opinion. You don't love them. I don't think you can love someone and cheat on them. I don't think you can do that. Like, I think you have maybe affection for them, like you have a bond with them, I guess. But for you to be unfaithful to them, can you really cheat on someone that you love? I don't know. I don't think you can, personally.
the older they are, I mean, even if it's a baby, that's heartbreaking. To know that all this time she was getting smutted out, and this woman had this has been going on for a while, guys. DNA just happens to bring a lot of this stuff to light. And the fact that he went back and he basically was giving her the cold shoulder, as a lot of people say he should, because
or maybe not love, but maybe in love. Like, you can't be in love with someone and cheat. I just think that it's just not possible. Let me know your opinions on this, guys.
Time to get over some things. You're raising the kids, and she just couldn't deal with the rejection and the cold shoulder, and knowing that what she did to the family, what she did all along. And some women will be selfish and do things like they can't deal with the rejection or living with what they've done to someone, even though I'm pretty sure she had no intent letting this guy know what had happened. This was going to go to her grave, that she basically had kids by different men. Now, all of this, I mean, you're finding out that your kid has a project for ancestry and stuff like that and doing DNA. It sounds a little far-fetched that a kid is taking a test in school to find things out, right? And I'm assuming this kid is in high school unless they were in college doing things on their own, but highly unlikely. That video I covered before where he found out, he went through her phone and found out that she was laughing about it. Women, family members, different people know what's going on. Women know a lot of times who the father of the child is. They have a strong inkling of what's going on.
Like, why do this? Like, why do that to someone? If you want to cheat, just end the relationship. Just end the relationship. Yeah, it's going to hurt that person, but they would much rather you break up with them than cheat on them. At least I would. Like, come on. It's cruel. You're damn, this is some cold stuff.
And to know, like, none of them are yours.
Multiple affairs.
You've already developed a bond with these children. Like, that's
Evil.
something that, you know, that's heartbreak at its finest. And some other man, you're taking care of some other man's kids and you develop this thing towards them. I think the lady in the video, she was like, so what? You're doing the most. You're going too far. Why would you do something like that? Why would you do this? That test is not real. You believe a test over me, just like this woman said. You're going to believe a test over me? Hell yeah, baby. It's science. Now, a lot of women will watch this and say, he drove her to this. This man he was abusive.
What? I'm sorry. Like, based on the information that we have, so not speculating, but based on what we heard from him, if what he said is true, how can you side with her in this? How can you? At the end of the day, they were married and she had 4 children out of wedlock. Come on. I mean, 4 children via affairs. Come on now. You can't justify that behavior at all.
He wasn't listening.
At
She was
all.
trying to make things right. She was trying to do this. And look, it's his fault.
How?
He shouldn't have been stonewalling. Women do this all the time. And if
How
a
can
man
you
happens to
blame
do
him?
that, nobody cares if a man does that. If a man, you know, deletes, if he decides to, as Buddy said, have a hangout with the chandelier. What were you doing when you were getting your cheeks clapped, knowing that you were married and with this guy? What were you doing? You were having the time of your life, bringing this baby forth into this world, back to back to back to back to back to back.
Crazy.
Fellas, don't put anything past any woman. I encourage you definitely to do a DNA test, unless it's just blatantly obvious that this is your child. But it should be mandatory at the hospitals for paternity, for sure. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. You know,
Damn. I thoroughly agree with him. I think a paternity test at the hospital should be mandatory. I fully co-sign with that. It would save so much heartbreak. So much. It would, you know, prevent so much pain, you know? Like, it's just not fair to force somebody to raise someone else's child if they do not agree to it. Like, if they're not aware of it. Obviously, there's plenty of people who, you know, raise stepchildren, you know, like, that's fine. It's a beautiful thing, of course. But don't deceive people. Don't deceive people. That for me is just dead wrong. Like, it's just not right. It's not right at all. It's awful. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.